Traffic safety.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California, home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Aviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising at KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got your Black.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does Black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss you. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Hey guys, Heidi Preeb here. Today I wanted to clarify something that I think comes up as a question quite a bit in the minds of people who are interacting with people who have an anxious attachment strategy. This is kind of a conversational or particularly a conflict pitfall that I see specifically anxious and avoidant types falling into very, very often. So when we look at both sides of the attachment spectrum, we have anxious on one side, which is more emotionally organized. So their worldview, their understanding of how the world works is organized more through the lens of their personal feelings than it is through the lens of temporal order. So they're more inclined, especially when their attachment system is triggered and they're dealing with an interpersonal situation, to rely on how they feel to tell them the truth about what's happening, versus those on the avoidant side of the spectrum rely more on temporal order than on their inner emotional world. So they're more likely to try to understand a situation through the lens of what concretely caused what to happen, rather than which emotions are impacting my experience of this situation and how can I communicate and work through those as a means of resolving the situation. So this trap that often anxious and avoidant types in particular will fall into when they get into conflict is that the anxiously attached person will be trying desperately to communicate how they feel because they believe that the way they feel is communicating an important truth about the situation at hand. And the avoidant person will get really stuck on the temporal order of things if there are incongruencies in what the anxiously attached person is saying. And usually there are, because an attachment strategy that is inherent to the anxious style is to exaggerate their emotion and their inner experience if they feel as though it's not being seen and understood by the other person. So when you have an anxious attachment strategy and you have a feeling in your body and you do not know how to get rid of it on your own, the number one thing that every single cell in your body is telling you to do is to get someone else to understand the way that you are feeling so they can help you to stop feeling that way, or through some sort of interaction, even a negative one, even something like a fight or an argument, which at least gives you focused, intense personal attention. It will help your arousal come down if you can only get the other person to see the pain that you are currently in. So the important thing to keep in mind here is that in the mind of the anxiously attached person, particularly when their attachment system is very activated and online, the most important thing to them is communicating their emotion. The facts of the matter are far less important and in their minds don't really matter as much. So let's say the anxiously attached person had a difficult day at work and they felt insulted by something that someone said. And let's say they come home and tell their partner and they don't really
Yo, that was fire. Heidi, oh my goodness. Heidi, she just blew the spot up. If you're just tuning in, is your pain in a silent competition with your significant other's pain? She just broke down the attachment styles of anxious preoccupied and the avoidant type. Now, depending on which avoidant type you are, dismissive has a wound, and fearful avoidant. So you have a dismissive avoidant, they have a wound, and you have fearful avoidant, they have two wounds. They have an anxious wound, and then they have this independence thing that they learn from self-soothing because they, in childhood, they weren't acknowledged or they were in a fearful situation. So again, these wounds are at war, because these wounds are trying to maintain the norm for the people who have them. Attila says it's a compounded wound. Yes, and they have a little pendulum that swings back and forth. Anxious to avoidant. I'm in, I'm out. I'm in, I'm out. I love, I don't. This we're good, we're not. We're good, we're not. Yeah, that kind of thing. Man, this is heavy. Sometimes our wounds are at war. And sometimes we prioritize our wounds over that of our significant others. The reason being is because many of us are solely focused on just getting our wound to be quiet, getting our wound to not hurt, getting our wound to be like a child. A wound is to be seen, not heard, right? Remember that? I know I got it, but I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear from the wound. But in many cases, we elevate the wound to a leadership role in our life, and then the wound starts choosing people. Oh, man, this is crazy. Is your pain in a silent competition, right, with your partner's pain? Listen, we did the relationship roundtable. I saw a brother who compared. Listen, that man went to prison. And I went to college. That man basically ruined his life from the decisions he made. And y'all pouring all kind of love and empathy on that man. Where is my love and empathy? He compared his wound to the wound of another. Now, the reason why people poured into the young man is because people were shocked that he even made it to the lounge. Like, people like, he was like basically a gang member who did time, who's a fan of the radio show. And he was like, I'm coming to meet Zoe Williams. I've been following Zoe for years. And he trying to change. The young man said, I love the streets more than I love my mama. He said that. The man said, I love the streets more than I love my mama. And you found your way to an upscale cigar lounge. I mean, he probably in the wrong hood, everything. He showed up like, yo, Zoe here? Not only did he show up, not only did he participate, at the end of it, he's like, hey, brother, I got 2 cigars for you. I said, come on, what are we doing? But the other brother, do you see what I'm saying? Who has his own attachment issues, and his attachment wound was triggered. And because he's felt this way, oh man, and me and Dr. Delana, we laid it down for him. Because he has thought this way. You know, I am not acknowledged. I am not seen. I am not heard. Come to find out, it goes all the way back to mama. He's anxious, preoccupied, looking for approval and acceptance and acknowledgement and validation. All of that was in play because he's conditioned himself to seek it. He's forgot what it looked like. And when we walked him through it and talked to him, it's like, yeah, you did say that. Yeah, y'all did say that. Yes, you did point this out. Yes, you did. And I'm saying, this is empathy for you. We're walking you through it. We understand. We told him the difference between a human being and a human doing, because that was one of the things he brought up. I do this, I do that, I cook, I prepare, I've learned, I went to school, I got these things, I live this kind of life, and I still ain't got it right in the relationship space. And I said, it's not because of what you do, it's because of who you are. And his wound was at war with the youngster. The youngster's only 32 years old. What does Krishnamurti say about it? To live without comparison, to live without any kind of measurement inwardly, never to compare what you are with what you should be. The word meditation means not only to ponder, to think over, to probe, to look, to weigh. It also has a much deeper meaning in Sanskrit. To measure, which is to become. In meditation, there must be no measurement. Oof. Listen, the measurement is the comparison. Listen, in meditation, there must be no measurement. The meditation must not be a conscious meditation in deliberately chosen postures. This meditation must be totally unconscious, never knowing that you are, in fact, meditating. If you deliberately meditate, it is for another form of desire, as any other expression of desire. The objects may vary. Your meditation may be to reach the highest, but the motive is the desire to achieve. Just as the businessman, as the builder of a great cathedral. Meditation is a movement without any motive. Meditation is a movement without motive, without words, and the activity of thought, which is comparison. It must be something that is not deliberately set about. Only then is meditation a movement within the infinite, measureless to man, without a goal, without an end, and without a beginning. And that has a strange action in daily life, because all life is one and then becomes sacred. And that which is sacred can never be killed. To kill another is unholy. It cries to heaven as a bird kept in a cage. One never realizes how sacred life is. Not only your little life, but the lives of millions of others. From the things of nature to extraordinary human beings. And in meditation, which is without measurement, there is the very action of that which is most noble, most sacred, and holy. Do you understand what that is? Our wounds are Kobe and LeBron, MJ and LeBron. Our wounds are top competitors. Hagler Hearns, our wounds got their fists balled up, and we want our wound to take precedent over our partner's wounds, whether we acknowledge it or not. But what you fail to realize, although these wounds have two different curriculums, They are in the same relational classroom, and you guys were brought together so that these wounds can mirror each other's curriculum back to you. And that's when you start doing your self-work. You don't try to prioritize your hurt over your partner's hurt, but tell me if I'm wrong. Do we not do this? Do we not justify this action? This is why so many people say, I've been in a relationship, but I'm dissatisfied. I feel like I haven't been seen. I feel like I haven't been heard. I feel like I haven't been respected. I feel like I haven't been honored. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Just because your partner hurt you does not mean they don't honor you. When I come forward, the voice of reason, going back to the phone line, let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
I'm going out with the girls this weekend. Nails done, outfit stunner, and my skin, I know it's gonna be glowing because I glammed up my shower routine with new Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash. It smells so luxurious and moisturizes deep into my skin with its super rich, creamy lather that's bursting with vitamin B3. So my skin glows and my confidence grows. Try new Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash for glowing skin in just 14 days.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Ayo, Bo knows this, what? And Bo knows that. What? But Bo don't know jack, cause Bo can't rap. Well, what do you know? The D-Dog is first up to bat. No batteries included and no strings attached. No holds barred. No time time for move faking. Got to get the loot so I can bring home the bacon. Brothers front, they say the drop can't flow, but we've been known to do the impossible like Broadway Joe. So sleep if you want, like we will help you get your Z's true. But here's the real scoop. I'm all that and then some. So where I come from, I'm vexed, fuming. I've had it up to here. My days of paying dues are over. Acknowledge me is in there. Yeah. Head for the border, go get a taco. I wreck it from the jump street, meaning from the get-go. Sit back, relax, and let yourself go. Don't sweat what you heard, but act like you know.
Yes, yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. Who got the vibe? It's the tribe, y'all. Tribe, y'all. Real live, y'all. Live, y'all. Inside, outside, come around. Who's that? Brown. Some may I say, call me Charlie. The word is the herb.
Tribe Called Quest in the building. My playlist is my co-host. We're on fire tonight. Live from KBLA Talk 1580. It's the VOR, the voice of reason. You already know what I do. I push the envelope, man. I push the envelope. Okay? We got to have tough conversations. And tonight's conversation is it's a heavy one. It's a deep one. Okay? It's a heavy one, it's a deep one, and it must be had. Your wounds, your hurt, right? Your hurt, listen, your hurt is like some type of indicator in a car. You're driving and the oil light pops on. That indicates, hey, I need to get the oil change. Pain is an indicator. Psychological pain, physical pain, emotional pain. It's an indicator that something needs to be paid attention to. If Carl Jung was correct when he said humans will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid looking at themselves, if our wounds didn't hurt, we would store them away and forget about them. We would never do the work. But what happens through conditioning, our wounds get enmeshed in our identity. Our sense of self now has a piece of the wound in it. Aren't you tired of hearing people say, this is just how I am? This just how I am doesn't mean you get to stay that way. You must grow. If you're tired of the same relationship, change yourself. What do you say? Change yourself. Very cliche. Okay, deeper. Heal your wound. What? Heal my wound? Yes. How do I heal my wound? You sit with it without judgment. What? Yes. And you don't judge those who help create it. You sit with it without judgment. And if you get to a certain level, you start to empathize with the wound. Oh, Lord. You're empathizing with self. And next thing you know, the wound starts to heal. You start to heal. But do you know how toxic you gotta be to compare your hurt to your partner's hurt and then prioritize it over your partner? 1-800-920-1580. I'm going to say Krishnamurti one more time. I'm going to go to Krishnamurti one more time. And then I'm going to go to Truemonger. You can see why we compare because, for one thing, we are conditioned. And also, through comparison, we think we are living. It is part of our struggle. By comparing, we feel that we are acting. We say, if I do not compare, if I do not become like Mr. Smith, my God, what shall I be? I know, this is what's happening. My wound needs to be wound of the year. We need to receive wound of the year for my wound. And my wound is more painful than your. We're not going to do that if we're going to heal. Truemonger, Dallas, Texas, get in here.
Yes, sir.
Man, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Oh, boy. First of all, I think, in my opinion, the first mistake is actually comparing each other's pain instead of acknowledging it and listening to your partner. Instead of trying to saying, well, my pain is worth more than yours. My pain is more valuable than yours. That to me is just, this is not cool. I've experienced that where my partner at the time thought her pain had more value to it than anybody else's. And even after the intimate relationship ended, it was still cool for a while. But at some point, I realized he was just making it all about her. She didn't really care about what anybody else was going through, including me. Because I don't really just broadcast my pain like that. I'll acknowledge it, but I know I got to keep going. You know? After a while, everything about her, and once I realized she wouldn't even ask how I was doing, because during the time I was on the verge of death. And it'd be some time go by, we and ask how I was doing. I'm like, I'm always checking in with you to try to see if you're all right. But you can't even show me that same respect. So I at first it bothered me. I'm like, okay, it is what it is. And if they're not concerned enough to even ask if you're all right, I don't even talk about it. I just deal with my pain the best way I can, whatever it may be. So in a way, it's a good thing, but also it hurts because it exposes what you need to find out.
Right. That's real.
So once you process that, you just have to deal with it the best you can and keep moving forward, whether they care or not.
Truemonger, guess what you just did, brother?
It was both Dallas in the building.
Dallas, Texas is in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, we on fire tonight. Just call me, 1-800-920-1580. We live in a time right now where people, we get compassion fatigue and empathy fatigue. And I tell you, that is a direct result of a spiritually impoverished society. Oh, I'm just tired of caring. Because caring is seen as a burden. That's exactly what the word care means, a burden. Right? We're not spiritually mature enough to understand that anything that is of high vibrational value is infinite. You don't care because the society in which you live in is spiritually toxic. That's why you get tired of caring. You know how many relationships could have changed? Well, when we come forward, the voice of reason gonna keep this fire lit.
And romping, New York, North Kakalaka, and Compton. Check it out. The loops for the troops, more mounds to the ounce. And wow, how now, brown cow. We're ill till the skill gets down for the flex. Next is the textbook old to the new, but the rest are doo-doo. From radio to the video to Arsenio, tell me, yo, what's the scenario? Scooby-Doo, whoopie-doo, scenarios, radios, rates more than 4. Scores for the scores, that's mother dance floors. Now I go for mine,
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The University of Michigan's Poverty Solutions is releasing a report that shows home values in Detroit have risen by $3.9 billion since the city declared municipal bankruptcy. The report also shows that Black homeowners saw their housing wealth increase by $2.8 billion. University professor Jeffrey D. Mornoff says from their findings, wealth has increased a lot and fairly equitably. Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan says Detroiters who stayed in the city are seeing benefits in the form of housing wealth. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson's proposed plan to borrow over $1 million to pay for housing and other development has hit a roadblock. The Black mayor's allies delayed a full city council vote on the measure. Mayor Johnson's goal is to borrow $250 million a year through 2028 to fund efforts to expand affordable housing and boost small businesses and nonprofits. A vote now could be held as soon as Friday. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Thousands of crashes occur in highway work zones every year, putting friends and family in danger. Remember, when you see a work zone, slow down and pay extra attention. Be work zone alert and go safely, California, from Caltrans and the California Office of Traffic Safety.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California. Home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Aviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@kbla1580.com. That's advertising@kbla1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you Black.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelenos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
It's time for California Community College's Black Student Success Week. This week-long event, held April 22nd through the 26th, is an opportunity to focus on innovative approaches to ensuring Black and African American students succeed in their educational pursuits. Black Student Success Week 2024, building a better future together. The urgency is now. For more information, visit blackstudentsuccess.com. That's blkstudentsuccess.com.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
If we're the ones disproportionately impacted by these climate catastrophes, why should we be silent? Turning up the volume all year long on the climate conversation for KBLA Talk 1580.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in 1 wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Check it out, you got me mesmerized with your black hair and your fat thighs. Street poetry is my everyday, but yo, I gotta stop when you drop my weight. If I was working at the club, you would not pay. Ayo, my man Fife Diggy, he got something to say.
I like them brown, yellow, Puerto Rican, or Haitian. Name is Fife Dog from the Zulu Nation. Told you in the jam that we could get down. Now let's knock the boots like the group H-Town. You got BBD all on your bedroom wall, but I'm above the rim and this is how I ball. A gritty little something on a New York street. This is how I represent over this here beat. Talking about you.
Yo, I took you out, but sex was on my mind for the whole route. My mind was in a frenzy in a horny state, but I couldn't drop dimes cause you couldn't relate. You couldn't relate. You couldn't relate.
Yes, yes, my beautiful family, it is time. Even if you haven't been waiting, I have been waiting for you since last week when this particular word has dropped in my spirit, and I can't wait to share it with you. Come on in the room. Let me go ahead and start this off right. Let's start an encouraging thread. Tag somebody all up and down the chat. I'm so proud of you. At Michelle, at David, at Jonathan, find somebody's name up and down the thread and just tell them I am proud of you. You don't know how a word of encouragement can cause for somebody to fight another round. All of us have different battles that we're facing. And I really do believe, kind of similar to sports, when somebody takes a hard hit and it takes a while for them to get up, once they get up, rather on a cart or even limping off the field, usually the whole audience begins to clap. Why? Because you got hit, but the hit didn't break you. And I just want to encourage each and every one of you. Thank you so much for just joining us for Therapy Thursday. Week after week, we are so honored to serve you, and I just been praying for God to use Therapy Thursday. Matter of fact, this has been confirmation. I told us many times, like when I felt God first put this in my spirit, around the holidays of 2021, hey, there's certain people who cannot hear and aren't following my commandments because you cannot be an effective, benevolent follower of Jesus when there's certain wounds on the inside of you that are talking you out of obedience. And I gave this example. Love your neighbor like you love yourself. How are you going to do that if you don't love yourself? So that really was, I didn't really know it was God at that time, but now I know that it was the Holy Spirit putting in my heart, help my people heal on the inside. So I'm just so honored to serve you, myself and Isaac Curry, week after week, just serving you. So just thank you for allowing us to watch you.
It comes back. You think you don't have the capacity to show empathy to the person who hurt you. So your wound, you tell your wound, we take precedent over this person. We love them. No, you don't. You're attached to them. Because if you love them, you could still empathize with them, even though they were the source of your hurt in that moment. See, so many people will justify resentment, will justify resistance, will justify throwing away a relationship because that person did something that they never thought they could or would. That's because you dated an image of your person and not the human aspect of your person. I know people don't really resonate with what I'm saying. Love does conquer all if you could reach that level of consciousness. Krishnamurti said it this way. There is conflict in comparison. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. There is conflict in comparison. You compare your person to the image you have of them. They don't size up to the image. It justifies the resentment. You get to prioritize your wound over their wound, even if the hurt they caused you, right, hurt them. We are always comparing what we are with what we should be. The should be is a projection of what we think we ought to be. Contradictions exist when there is comparison. Krishnamurti. I love him. Yes. The habit of comparison can take a toll on our mental health, contributing to increased levels of anxiety, depression, and chronic stress. Constantly measuring ourselves against others can create a cycle of negative thoughts and self-criticism, leading to heightened feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. These negative mental states can severely impact our overall well-being and interfere with our ability to function optimally in other areas of life. Oh, I wonder what my mom and them going to say if I reconcile with this person. Oh, I wonder what my friends are going to say if I leave this person. I wonder, do you get what I'm saying? Do you hear me? Now, take it to the wound level, the psychological inner child level. And that child is competing to be heard over the screams of the wounds of their partner. Attila from Houston, Texas. Get in here.
Uncle Zoe, how are you?
Hey, I'm turned up tonight. I don't know. So Lord, I got hit by the bug tonight. I'm turned up.
Listen. I'm glad. First of all, beautiful framing. Okay, amazing. I'm just listening to it like it's just like perfection. So happy. But I wanted to address one of the comments in the chat that I thought was really deep. So Dustin says, it took me so long to learn that conflict is an opportunity to be what you want to see. Right. And it got me thinking, and I'm like, well, if that's the case, then I need to look at my prescription because, baby, like, I feel like my lenses, when I'm in pain, you know what I'm saying? My lenses, all of a sudden, my vision started doing weird stuff, like I'm on shrooms or something. I don't know. Like, I just be seeing stuff. And I say that to say that your pain can actually warp your vision. So I guess my question would be to that, if the conflict is the opportunity to be what you want to see, well, if I only see pain, then what am I going to be? I don't know, but maybe I'm just like thinking too much about that. Yeah. For me, I'm struggling. The reason why I wrote this topic is because I think that it's hard sometimes to remain hopeful and faithful when you're in an environment where you haven't really received the love that you've given out, or sometimes people pay you with disrespect and dust. So I guess, sorry.
So what if I hit you with, we have to normalize being over receiving?
Mhm.
What if what if I hit you with that? Because to me, being what you want is far more powerful than receiving what you want. And many of us have been conditioned and socialized to be receivers as opposed to being beings.
This
Being.
is true, but my question is, if I want to be, don't I have to see it first in order to be it?
This
Or
is how
maybe
you,
not. I mean, I guess it's like an
no, but
imagination.
this is
I don't
no,
know.
but this is how you do it.
Uh-huh.
In order to see what you want, and there's pain there, it goes back to what we stated earlier. You have to sit in that pain. The pain is the crucible. The pain is the fire. Anything the pain touches, anything the fire touches, it consumes it and turns it into something else. Breaks it down to its fundamental level. The problem with us is we're always avoiding the pain. Avoiding the pain is equivalent to avoiding the change. Do you see?
Agreed.
Do you see? Sit in that
Completely
pain
agree.
without judgment, without a desire to run from it. And that pain will go away. It will subside. But because we are afraid of pain and we've been conditioned to run from it, pain gets to pimp us.
Can you also have an addiction to pain?
Yes, you can.
Can I
Absolutely.
thrust myself in situations to induce pain because I'm technically addicted to the pain and the dysfunction that comes with those situations?
Keep speaking on it, Attila. I'm gonna get out your way. Go ahead.
No, I mean I'm just asking. I'm just asking. I mean, I feel like every time I go through something painful, I end up with a new tattoo. Like what? No, but even when I think about that, right? For me, I alchemize my pain. My pain goes into purpose. That's how I look at it. But then I realize that if I'm over focusing on producing something instead of, as you say, just being, I'm not really dealing with it. I come out with a great product. I kick out some good topics. But if we want to talk about actually dealing with and sitting in the pain, I think that's where I've been lately. And what's real interesting is that God will put you in a situation where you have no choice but to sit.
Let's take it in another direction. Learn how to stop judging your mess.
Ooh, okay.
Learn how to stop judging the mess you are. You want to clean up the mess. You can't condemn the mess, because where there is resistance, there will be resentment. And where there is resentment, there will be avoidance. I'm going to move away from that. I don't even want to deal with that. Ain't that how we deal with our partners?
Listen, now, I got spiritual track shoes. You hear me? You hear me? The minute I start getting the ick, I'm like, oh, no. And I think in my most recent situation, right, it was so hard for me to really sit there and be like, this really hurts. This is painful. But something kept telling me that I needed to sit in it and see and watch. And the thing that came to me in that moment of watching and observing the person was, this is you. That's you. So as you say, it's so weird because normally my first inclination is to fix. And obviously you can imagine that would be annoying for an individual who doesn't want to be fixed.
Right.
And so when I decided to just sit quietly with it, it all made sense. Yeah. But nonetheless, though, y'all cooking. I don't really have nothing else to say.
Well, guess what you just did, young lady?
Brought Houston in the building.
Houston, Texas is in the building. When we come forward, one of our favorites is in the building. You know her. I know her. You love her. I love her. Cali Soul, Denver, Colorado, up next.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Don't shave with that, son. You'll get razor bumps.
Nah, Pops. I'm good with Gillette Skin Guard. How long you been growing that beard anyway? You know Mama hates it.
Yeah, had it since my last wet shave in '77. Got ingrown so bad, looked like I was growing a patch of new noses.
That's why I use the Gillette Skin Guard razor, face scrub, shave gel, and moisturize, so I don't have to worry about new razor bumps or shaving irritation.
Gillette Skin Guard, huh? Your mama's gonna love this one.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
So I be sublime. It's enjoyable to know you in concubines. Take off your coats, ladies act like gems. Sit down, Indian styles, you recite these hymns. See, lyrically I'm Mario Andretti on the Momo. Ludicrously speedy or infectious with the slow-mo. Heard me in the 80s, JB's on the promo. Am I never in the quest to get the paper on the caper? But now, let me take it to the Queen side. I'm taking it to Brooklyn side. All the residential questions who invade the air. Hold up a second, son, cause we almost there.
Yo, Tribe Called Quest. What is the next one? Tribe was one of the greatest, man. I'm sorry. Q-Tip, one of the greatest producers ever. Do me a favor. I wanted Q-Tip on the production side. One of the greatest hip-hop producers in the history of hip-hop. He did a remix for Craig Mack, the song Get Down. The remix was so, and the original was fire, produced by Easy Mo B, the guy who produced a lot of Biggie's, 90% of Biggie's first album. But that remix of Get Down by Q-Tip, it's just amazing. But let me get Cali Soul in here real quick. Oh, just give me a piece of this.
Now who got the flave that comes a dime a dozen that keeps them buzzing, thinking that they fat when they wasn't? Welcome to the world of Mac. On Mac, we use more like saying they eat them shit like packs on.
I'm incredible. Better eat your vegetables. Cuz I does what I do. Do it.
I take the roof off the soft suckers, super smacking, macking. The effect might check 1, 2.
I'm a reign forever. Boy, come on, Q-Tip. Yes. But you already know we got to get some wisdom up in here. Our girl, your girl, we love her to death. Callie Soul, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Oh, my goodness. Hey, Zoe.
Hey.
I'm still processing.
You still processing, huh? It was heavy,
I'm
right?
still processing. This week, I've only been able to, like, chime in and catch little things, and even tonight I wasn't able to listen to everything, but those pieces that I've heard, I was like, oh, my gosh. Whew. I just got to thank Queen Atala for contributing in the way that she does, and thank you for being open to her contributions. I was really taken aback by the topic tonight, because I'm like, oh wow, I'm really able to see how my wounds are battling with my family's wounds, like different characters in my family, right? But I never thought about it on the side of romance and relationship, and I was like, oh shoot, I see why I have not been able to be empathetic in the past, and specifically with one relationship. I was like, why can't I be, empathetic for this person? And I've realized now, like, we joined together to heal, but my ego was like, nah, we need to fight, because I'm not ready to heal. So I'm a work through this, but thank you. This week has been amazing, and I'll be going back and listening when I can.
Man, Callie Soul, I love you. Call in anytime. You already know what it is. You got a seat at the table. But she brings up a great point. Jesus said it. I read it before. He that loves little, or he that forgives little, loves little. Book of Luke. And we live in such a punitive, society. You do something, you got to pay for it. But let me tell you, Spirit makes you pay Spirit is going to extrapolate what you owe. Don't think you can walk. Spirit going to get it out you. Every single time. There's not going to be a time you're not going to be you're not going to pay Spirit back. But you do yourself a disservice, right? When you put your wounds at a premium above your partner. That's going to prevent you from forgiving. That's going to prevent you from freeing yourself, because you're going to feel entitled and justified in the position you take. Even if that relationship don't work out, if you want to move with a clean heart, you still going to have to empathize with the one that hurt you, with the one that let you down, with the one that disappointed you. And if you can't, you won't be able for that moment. You won't be able to do it in that moment when it presents itself in the new situation. Listen, we started the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. You already know what I got to do. I got to come back next week with another slew of fire topics. Listen, if you want to send me a topic, all you got to do is email me at vor106@gmail.com. I'm taking everybody's topics. Talk to me. I want to talk to you. Listen, up next, Tavis is on the nines. Check out Tavis's replay. It's going to be fire just like this was. I'll see you next week.
The days on the boulevard are ended. We used to kick routines and the presence was fitting. It was I, the abstract.
And me, the 5-footer. I kicks the mad style, so step off the Frankfurter.
Yo, Fife, you remember that routine? That way used to make spiffy like Mr. Clean?
A tidbit, a smidgen. I don't get the message, so you got to run the pigeon.
You're on point, Fife.
All the time, Tip.
You're on point, Fife.
All the time, Tip.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest.